Good morning, thank you for joining me. I hope everybody is well and having a good week. I thought it was about time that we did a sit down chatty Friday chat, as I feel like it's a while since we did one of those where we just, sorry, that was me knocking on the table, not deliberately. Yeah, it feels like a while since we've done just a sitty downy, catchy uppy, chitty chatty. Am I going to say anything else ending in E? That type of video. So I thought it was time to do one of those. And today I want to talk to you about a few things actually. Upcoming summer and an exciting project that hopefully is going to come to fruition this month. Fingers crossed on that. I'm going to talk to you about that. And dipping a little bit into the decluttering and low buy and stuff that I have been trying to do of late. Just a brief chat about that, and then I'm going to tell you what I've been watching on TV this month, because, or this last couple of months actually, because I've watched some good stuff and I wanted to share it, and I always like getting your recommendations for TV things and films and all of that sort of thing in return. And before we get into all of that chat, however, I just want to make a start with today's sponsor. We have a sponsor for today's video, and that is LILYSILK. I'm sure you know their name. I've worked with them, I think, twice before, and they are a internet-based silk company. They make all sorts of things from silk, from clothing to accessories to beautiful bedding to lingerie, or just a beautiful plethora of lovely things. Their website is a very indulgent place to visit. It's lovely, and everything they make is made from 100% mulberry silk. And mulberry silk is a great option in terms of the environment because it uses less water to produce than cotton, and also for the mulberry trees they don't use any pesticides on them, which can only be a good thing, can't it? Also, fun fact, silk biodegrades 50 times faster than your man-made fabrics, your polyesters and your rayons and your viscoses and all of those. 50 times faster. That's a lot, isn't it? There are also fewer fossil fuels burnt. That's quite hard to say, fewer fossil fuels burnt in the production of silk. And bearing in mind that the fashion industry is the second largest polluter of the environment after the oil industry. Yeah, I was shocked by that as well. Bearing that in mind, the fact that the production of silk uses less fuel for can't speak, burns less fossil fuels, can only be a good thing, that being the case. The other thing that I really like about LILYSILK is that they are committed to a zero waste policy. All the offcuts of their fabrics they use to make accessories, so hair scrunchies and hair bands. I have a couple of these to show you. These are so luxurious. Isn't that gorgeous? It's pink with a white trim, that one, and it's got elastic at the back. And then they've also sent me a black one with a white trim. Also, silk is great for your hair because it doesn't leave kinks in it. I've got the scrunchies as well from last time I worked with them, and I always put my hair up at the top in a scrunchie when I go to bed. And if I use a silk one, it doesn't come out with a big kink in it in the morning, which anyone who doesn't wash their hair every day will be very appreciative of that. Much better for your hair as well because of the slippiness, of course. Right, I've got a couple of items of clothing to show you as well. Gorgeous, gorgeous things, perfect for spring. Let me start with, I'm going to have to get off my chair for this. So we'll start with this absolutely beautiful striped button-down shirt. The feel of this silk, the quality, I cannot tell you how lovely and luxurious it feels. The button detail on the cuff is just lovely. The collar, really nice button-up shirt. This comes in various different colours, but I really liked this navy and white. I thought it was just lovely, perfect for, as I said, the upcoming spring. The other one I've got is an over-the-top sort of tunicky blouse. Love pale blue. I like myself wearing pale blue. I always think pale blue is quite a flattering colour on almost every skin tone and hair colour type, to be honest, as well. I really like the V-neck on this and the slightly bigger sort of statement collar. And the sleeves are so beautifully gathered with the 3 but covered buttons there as well. The detail on these garments is just absolutely gorgeous. Now I'll pop links to the things I've shown you today down in the description box, along with a discount code which LILYSILK have given me. They have also got a Mother's Day sale on this month up till, I think I'm right in saying up till the 19th of, if I'm wrong about that, I'll pop it across the screen. But if you are in the market for a nice indulgent little accessory gift for either yourself or someone in your life, or a nice piece of clothing, please do have a look at LILYSILK. So thank you again to LILYSILK for sponsoring today's video. Okay, let's get into what I'm going to talk to you about. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen, no doubt, that I am no doubt, you may have seen that I have been posting monthly lists at the beginning of each month, not on the 1st because I haven't been very good at doing it on the 1st. Sorry, I'm just looking at my phone to pull up this month's list. Actually, if I go into Instagram, I can show you February's list as well. And they are just lists of reminders of nice things coming up or to do this coming, you know, the current month. And I just, monthly fun, I've called it on Instagram. And this was my, I don't know if I can make that stay. That was my February one on Instagram. And I'll just tell you what was on that. It was Mum's 80th birthday celebration, Padstow mini break, celebrate Pancake Day. You will have seen in a recent vlog that I made a savoury pancake dish on Pancake Day. And then I showed you a picture of what it looked like and the cooking process, and then didn't tell you what it tasted like. It was absolutely delicious, really nice, but not something you'd have every day because it was full of creme fraiche and cheese and bacon and not great things, but you know, delicious, but not the best health-wise. Make plans to catch up with a very old friend, which I'm in the process of doing, and enjoy the longer days. Spring is nearly here. That was my February list, and then I had another list for March. Hang on a second, that's my March one. I make these on Canva, and sorry, I'm trying to get the glare off it for you. I feel like the I love the backgrounds appropriate to each month. It's really nice. And for March, I've got Cornwall trip with friends, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. We're very much looking forward to that. Try meditation. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about that because it's something that I'm making a video about. I'm dipping into the world of mindfulness and meditation this month, which, if you know me in real life, you'll think is hilarious. I am the least mindful and meditating person you can imagine, but thought I'd give it a go. Start spring cleaning. I've sort of started that already with my decluttering and that I started in January, but just a reminder to keep going with it, you know, and get those doors thrown open and let air come into the house and all the freshness of spring when it arrives. We're due to have snow tonight, so goodness knows what's going on. And then a London weekend to visit Will. Our son has recently moved up to London at the beginning of this year, and he's got his own little flatlet now, which is exciting. And we're not staying with him, but we are going up to visit him for the weekend, and I'm really looking forward to that. And then also celebrate St. Patrick's Day for March, because I don't usually celebrate St. Patrick's Day, but I thought I might do a St. Patrick's Day themed dinner on the 17th. I thought that might be quite nice, with perhaps a little bit of home decor or something. I don't quite know, but we'll see how busy I am, but we'll do something to mark the occasion anyway. And the final one for March is launch a podcast, hopefully. Which is one of the other things that I was going to talk to you about today. So yeah, I've just been making these monthly lists, and I'm really enjoying picking out all the joyful stuff about each month and having plans for each month. I feel like having plans, even if they're little things to do, you know, is nice. It's nice to have something to look forward to. Really important, that, I always think. If you don't follow me on Instagram and you'd like to, I will. My Instagram is always linked in the description box. It's at Caroline_Mrs. M. So yes, I guess we might as well talk about the podcast that doesn't yet exist yet. I am hoping to launch a podcast with my friend Carla. We haven't bashed out the details of it yet, and I need to learn all the techie stuff because I've never done anything podcasty before. But it's something that I originally wanted to do, we talked about doing, a couple of years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and we never got round to it at the time for whatever reason, busyness and life and all of that stuff. And it's something that I've had on the back burner wanting to do, and now I've freed up a little bit more time with doing a bit less YouTube, doing a bit less eBay, and I stopped my Patreon at the beginning of the year or the end of last year, and I feel like it's something that I'd really like to dip my toe into. So I'm meeting up with Carla later this week, and we are going to, I'm filming this Tuesday, so you will have, by the time you see this, I will have already met with her. But I think we're going to give it a go. We're going to have a chat about it and see how it would work. And it will be here on YouTube as well, I think is the plan, as well as being on podcast places. Anyway, just wanted to mention that. I'm quite excited about that. It's always nice to have a new project in the works. And hopefully it'll be something you enjoy as well, because I always get a lot of good feedback when Carla and I do videos together on here. So hopefully it'll be something you enjoy. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention is something that I've talked about on here before, and it's sort of linked to the, my project with using up more each month than I bring into the house. And I'm doing that around beauty products, but I'm also very mindful of it with regard to other stuff as well. It's made me think more about other stuff that I'm bringing into the house, clothes and so on, and anything really, even down to food and stuff like that. But it's also, in an interesting knock-on effect it's had, is it's made me think about saving stuff for best, and how I really shouldn't do that. And this is something that I've talked about before, saving stuff for best and not wanting to do it. But I think to an extent we're kind of all guilty of it, aren't we? And what really made me think about it was with this beauty using up project. I do monthly videos on that. I did one up, I'll link the one up there that I did last month, and there'll be another one at the end of this month letting you know how I'm getting on. It's made me really think about perfumes, and I have certain perfumes that are probably more expensive than my other perfumes, let's be honest, which I tend to not use as much as I probably would do, because I'm keeping them for best because they were expensive. And I'm a little bit like that with handbags as well. I've got a couple of lovely designer handbags, and I tend to keep those for best. And I'm thinking, why? Why do I need to keep them for best? What is best? What does best mean? Surely I should be using these and getting the joy out of them. So I've been really trying to make myself do that and use things a little bit more. And I get a weird sense of being a bit naughty when I use my expensive perfumes just for a day when I'm, not doing anything exciting. But also I quite like the idea of it. I think using the lovely things gives us a bit of an uplift, doesn't it? So something I've been pondering on anyway. But finally, I just want to talk about a few things I've watched on TV recently which I've really enjoyed, because I thought you might also like them if you haven't seen them. And also please let me have any of your TV recommendations. I always like a good recommendation. So many of these I have got from recommendations from friends and from you guys. And yeah, I just wanted to quickly mention some of these without going into too much detail. First one I've watched recently, which I binged over the weekend and really enjoyed, was Maternal, which is a drama on ITV. It's available on ITVX, or ITV Player, or whatever. I think they've just changed it to ITVX, haven't they? And it's a drama that follows 3 women in, I'm guessing their 30s, who are all doctors, and they are all returning to work after maternity leave. And it's really good. It's so much more than just a drama about it. It talks about the state of the NHS. It shows you about the struggles of women working and holding down a family life, as well as some interesting storylines. And I absolutely loved it. I really hope they make a second series of it. I thought it was very thought-provoking and also very enjoyable. Absolutely loved it. So highly recommend that one. Ashley and I watched, this was on the recommendation of a friend who always gives me really good TV recommendations. Thank you very much, Karen, if you're watching. This was called The Gold, and it was a 6-part, I think 6 or 7-part series on BBC iPlayer, and it was based on the Brinksmat robbery back in the early 80s, I'm wanting to say. So I quite like things set in the 80s. It was very much my time. I grew up in the 70s and the 80s, and so it was interesting from that point of view. I didn't know an awful lot about Brinksmat, so although it was a fictional account based on a true story, so I don't know how true it was, but that was interesting. I like anything sort of heist based. Hold that thought there, I'll be back to that in a minute. But Ashley and I both really enjoyed that, and they very much left it open for a second series. I noticed on iPlayer it said series 1, so I'm assuming that that might come back as a second series. Another thing Ashley and I have watched together is on Amazon Prime, and it's Clarksons Farm, the second series. I absolutely loved this. Now, let's put aside the fact that some people don't like Jeremy Clarkson, and that's absolutely fine, not a problem. I quite like him. I think he comes over well. I think he's made some mistakes in his life, for sure. Haven't we all? Let's be honest. Nobody's perfect. But I think he's done so much for farming in Britain, raising awareness of some of the issues with this series, and it's so entertaining. I love all the peripheral characters as well, and it's just a bit of bucolic loveliness. Entertaining, thought-provoking, educational. Really I enjoyed the second season even more than the first season, and I would highly recommend anyone. William really enjoys it as well, and his girlfriend, so I think it's something that would appeal to a massive range of people, that one. Another one that I watched on Netflix, which is trigger warning for a child being kidnapped, is The Snow Girl. It was originally a Spanish series, I think, and it was dubbed. Again, it was sort of a standalone drama, just one series. I'm quite enjoying those at the moment. I used to really enjoy things that had loads of seasons to watch, but I'm quite enjoying standalone, fairly short series of things at the moment. And it's sort of a mystery, this thing. This girl disappears, and it shows it over a period of years. It flicks back and forth in time and shows it over a period of years and what's happened to her and the police investigation. Really good, enjoyed it a lot. Even the dubbing wasn't too bad, I have to say. Sometimes these dubbed things are a bit grim, aren't they? What else? Ashley and I watched Next Level Chef on ITV, which is still available on ITVX, I think, which is a cooking show with a bit of a difference, hosted by Paul Ainsworth and Gordon Ramsay and Naisha, I think, she's an American lady called Naisha. I don't know much about her, so can't remember her whole name. And finally, my final recommendation is so if you like a cooking show, that was quite enjoyable. It was sort of a twist on the normal people cooking stuff and who's done the best thing. It was quite cleverly done, and we quite enjoyed that. And my final recommendation is a series on Netflix called Kaleidoscope. That was another heist-based series. We love a good heist series, as I said earlier. And the episodes were named after colours. Don't really know why, can't remember why. But the idea of it was you could watch the episodes in any order. Now, we just watched them in the order that Netflix presented them to us, which I would probably recommend. That seemed to work perfectly well. So I think it was probably just a gimmicky thing. But they're all set at different times. And when you look at the synopsis, you can see they were set either before the heist, 7 years before the heist, 3 years before the heist, 6 weeks before the heist, and then after the heist. And then the final one we watched was the actual heist. But it was really well done, very enjoyable, some great characters again, and yeah, very, very watchable. The first thing we usually watch one episode of something an evening, and that one we enjoyed so much we ended up watching more than one. Oh, there's one more that I must just talk about. Treason on Netflix, which is an MI6 spy-based 5-parter, I think that is. Quite good. Enjoyed it. In fact, we did enjoy it. We enjoyed it very much. However, you did have to suspend disbelief. There was quite a lot of things that I think probably wouldn't have happened had it been in real life. But it was very watchable, very enjoyable. British spy things, I quite like those as well, anything British and spies. Oh, I used to love Spooks. Did anybody watch Spooks? I think that's still on iPlayer. I might try and give that a go again. I think there are about 6 seasons of that. Anyway, do let me know anything that you've watched and enjoyed and you think I might enjoy or Ashley and I might enjoy. Always up for your recommendations. I think that's it for today. I feel like I've talked rather a lot. So I'm going to go and get on with some other stuff. But thank you very much for watching. Do go and check out LILYSILK if you are in the market for a little bit of luxury in your life. All the info down in the description box. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you again on Sunday. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.